No AFL club wants to enter a rebuild. It's the last resort, but essential when it becomes clear an era is over or the current crop of players just aren't good enough. For Richmond, it was the first of those options. Premiership heroes retired, players in their prime wanted out, and a new coach came in with his own style. But so far, so good. 2025 has sparked hope for Richmond fans. This rebuild might not take too long, and when compared to North Melbourne and West Coast, the other two clubs' insignificant rebuilds, albeit at different stages, the Tigers look to be roaring ahead. And it is just year one. 2024 was a write-off and a disaster, mainly through injury and the clear struggles of some of those premiership players adapting to Uze and possibly a loss of hunger that comes with that. So how have Richmond gotten the task so well, and what can other clubs gauge from them if they ever have to resort to the full-scale rebuild? Well, the first part was to commit and to launch into it. Daniel Rioli, Shai Bolton, Jack Graham and Liam Baker were all traded away or left as free agents. Sure, it was quality out of the building, but going into the 2024 draft, Richmond had armed themselves with 6 first-round picks. It was something we had never seen a club do before. Pair this with the genius trade of giving up pick 27 and a 2025 second-round pick to North Melbourne for their 2025 first-round pick, currently selection 2, it set up Richmond for the present and future when it came to drafting. Great timing before Tassie is set to enter. But it's what they did with their 2024 picks that so far is exciting. They didn't go midfield heavy like North Melbourne did over multiple drafts, or trade down like West Coast did last season to get in Liam Baker, but instead they took their picks and spread them out all over the field. Now, will all of them make it as star AFL players? It's probably unlikely, but even getting 1 star in each of the lines out of 6 players would be a good return. Sam Lawler at pick 1 will be the dusty replacement, and he has shown awesome signs up forward with little bursts in the midfield. Jonty Four and Harry Armstrong, picks 14 and 23, are the next generation key forwards, and them even playing senior football in year 1 shows they are developing nicely. But Luke Traynor in defence has been the surprise. Already 10 plus games, and the 195cm all-round backman looks like an AFL player. Pick 7 was a tall midfielder in Josh Smiley, who has had hamstring issues in the early part of his career, and pick 12 was the creative Taj Houghton, who is still recovering from an ACL he suffered last year. He is essentially the Bolton replacement. Again, it's an even spread of all types of players over all of the lines. It's given Uze a base of talent to work with, and it doesn't mean he's got all of his young players in one part of the field. With picks 2 and 3 in this upcoming draft, there is still plenty of opportunity to spread those picks out even more and bring in another 4 or 5 players within the first 2 rounds before Tasmania comes in and affects the 2027 draft. But the biggest reason Richmond are ahead in the rebuild battle is because of those at the opposite end of their careers, the veterans. Why did Richmond struggle last year? Well, injuries to senior players throughout the first half of the season, including Tom Lynch, Dylan Grimes, Liam Baker, Jack Ross, Jack Graham, Jacob Hopper, Dustin Martin, and Dion Prestia, to name a few, who all played less than 14 games in the season. Why have North Melbourne struggled so much despite talent, high picks, and one of the great coaches in the modern era? While a lot of poor play by their senior players and a simple lack of them that dates back to the 2016 off-season, which saw Brent Harvey, Drew Petrie, Michael Ferrito, and Nick Dalsano all sent out. And why have West Coast been a mess in the past few seasons? The same answer applies, and that's serious injuries and a lack of game time for their senior players, which at times in the 2023 season barely left them with 25 players to pick from in a given week. Now, luck in all of these instances is real, a lack of professionalism as well in certain examples, but it is so important to have a group of 6 to 10 genuine leaders and impact makers on field alongside these kids, and it's what Richmond have done so well up until this point in 2025. Tom Lynch has been the big body presence up forward and has been so important as a foil to Armstrong and Fall when they have played. Tim Taranto has had steady form, and his running mate in Jacob Hopper is finally getting a clean bill of health, and as always, the big ruckman and captain in Toby Nankervis is the physical presence in the middle of the field. Perhaps the small surprise has been Camden McIntosh, who has split more time on ball and on the wing, and at 31 is having one of his career best seasons. Throw in Nick Vlauston as a star interceptor behind the ball, with Nathan Broad and Jaden Short as a rebounder when he is fit, and the key backs in Noah Bolter when he is available and Ben Miller are a solid pairing to hold down the key position posts. Overall, it's a good spine that plays consistent football. It's not breathtaking or top 4 worthy, but good enough to surround with talented kids and help them along the way. It's why Richmond has already gone over their win-loss total for the season and have been in multiple other games. On field, it's all going to plan. The off-field side of things is also stable. New CEO Shane Dunn, who took over from the highly successful Brendan Gale, has had a smooth transition. The board has also been relatively stable in the same period of time, and like at all good clubs, there is a clear direction that everyone is on board with. It could have been easy to have internal problems, especially with the max exodus of important premiership players, so the club deserves credit for staying together. Although some people believe Richmond might be ahead of West Coast and North Melbourne in the rebuild phase, nothing is ever linear. The senior players are taking up a lot of responsibility on field, but besides Lynch, most actually look guaranteed to play on for the next 2 or 3 years at least. As Uze bloods more youth, it may come at a cost in terms of those on-field wins, so trying to keep that balance of being a solid team as they are right now versus going all out on the youth will be interesting to see. But for now, Richmond has done a lot right. They've got in the first batch of their new wave of players, got most of their veterans healthy and invested, and have 2 top 3 picks in this draft, which allows them to be creative in the draft and trade space. It's been one of the best starts to a rebuild in all these facets, and is a formula other clubs might try to adopt if they want to enter a full list rebuild.